And now, Andrew Knows Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 4 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella. Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella all together. One day, the king of Nottingham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Nottingham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Nottingham. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Nina. Isabella said, No way, Nina! He's going to marry me! Natalia said, Both of you are wrong! He's going to marry me! Ella said, All 3 of you are wrong! He's going to marry me! Later, Cinderella is so sad about not going to the mall and marrying Prince Nottingham while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, Cinderella? Cinderella responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Nottingham, but I have lots of chores to be done. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, Cinderella has 9 pumpkins and 18 mice. Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to tell her the 9 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 18 mice into horses, and Cinderella's rich clothes into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a not-a-fantastic gown, and get a load of my glass slippers. How can I ever thank you enough? Cinderella's fairy godmother said, Well, you can't. But have fun, Cinderella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Nottingham was wondering who he should marry. He's walking towards me, said Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella all together, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. May I have this dance? Asked Prince Nottingham. Cinderella responds, I would be delighted. Cinderella and Prince Nottingham dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Nottingham was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Nottingham to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the home where Cinderella, Nina, Isabella, and Natalia and Ella lived. But instead of Cinderella, he finds Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella. Prince Nottingham then said, Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Nina is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. Natalie and Ella did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Nonoply noticed Cinderella's sweet singing. Ah, the glass slipper fits! Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Nonoply back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, I hope you enjoyed this story. And if you want to see some sequels to Cinderella, something like that, etc., tell your friends about it. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise too on AndrewDoesEverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 21-Rella. It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named 21-Rella. 21-Rella had 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Yelena, Olivia, Nadia, and Erica. 9 of them made fun of 21-Rella and made her do all the chores. 21 wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said the stepsisters all together. One day, the king of Unvidgetulingham's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Unvidgetullingham, his majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Unvidgetupling." But 21-Rella is not welcome. Her 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. They then argue over who will marry Prince Unvidgetupling. Later, 21-Rella is so sad, upset, and distraught about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Unvidgetupling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother rises and comforts her. There now, 21-Rella. I can help with a bit of magic. No one will know it's you. And so, she chants the magic words, Unvidgetitity, Unvidgetantity, Unvidgetantity, on Woo, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, 20-Rella's chores are all done, and she now has a dress grown bigger and better. 21-Rella says, "I've never seen such an Unvidgetupletastic gown! And get a load of my glass slippers!" But 21-Rella's fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 21-Rella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. And then, luckily, 21-Rella has 21 pumpkins and 42 mice. 21-Rella's fairy godmother chants the magic words, Unvidgetitity, Unvidgetantity, on Voo, and waves her magic wand to turn the 21 pumpkins into a handsome coach and 42 mice into horses. Cinderella climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, "Have fun, 21-Rella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to normal." And so, 21-Rella accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Unvidgetupling was wondering who he should marry. 21-Rella, arrives at the ball just in time. Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Dina, Olive, Nadia, and Erica say all together. Olivia. He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Fidget Tumbling is walking towards 21 Arella. May I have this dance? As Prince Fidget Tumbling, to which 21 says, I would be delighted. Prince Fidget Tumbling and 21 Arella dance happily together. But later, 21 Arella realizes it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Fidget Tumbling was so worried that he might never see 21 Arella again. The king of Fidget Tumbling had comforted him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find 21 Arella, he said. And so they began their journey all around the neighborhood to find 21 Arella and but the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked at the door at the house where 21 Arella and her 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 21 Arella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, Tina and Erica. Prince Fidget Tumbling then says, Ladies, my father and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Winona is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits! The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Fidget Tumbling and the King of Fidget Tumbling, known as 21 Arella's sweet singing. She hollered excitedly, Prince Fidget Tumbling, is that you? She hollered excitedly, My dear daughter-in-law, 21 Arella. We found you, exclaims the king of Fidget Tumbling, and the glass slipper fits. 21 Arella, Prince Fidget Tumbling, and the king of Fidget Tumbling then lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew's Doers. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and internet everything, etc. Take care. Bye. Andrew's Doers. Andrew knows everything. Roundly presents 33 Rella for the Frieza 1300 episode special. As the title suggests, it is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young woman girl named 33 Rella. 33 Rella had 11 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Tilly, Hallie, Ruby, Erin, and Emily. All 11 of them made fun of 33 Rella and made her do all the chores. 33 wench, sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tasha to Emily all together. One day, the king of Troubleville's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Troubleville's royal majesty is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Treasure Tumbling. Can I come? Asked 33 Rella. But she is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Tasha, the oldest stepsister. But her younger stepsisters disagreed. They even tear 33rella's dress. And her best party dress. Later, 33rella is so sad, distraught and upset and about not going to the ball. Mary Prince Traitor Tupling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother rises and comforts her. 33rella, there now, my dear. 33rella, she said, I'll fix everything for you. She then waves her magic wand. Because of that, 33rella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 33rella, my dear, go fetch me a pumpkin and some ice. Luckily, 33rella has 33 pumpkins and 66 mice. 33rella fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 33 pumpkins into a handsome coach. The 66 mice into horses and fixes 33rella's torn dress and makes it bigger and better. 33rella said, I've never seen such a Traitor-tastic gown. And get a load of my glass slippers, fairy godmother. How can I ever thank you enough? And climbed into the coach. 33rella's fairy godmother said, well, you can't, but have fun, 33rella, my dear. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. Anne gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. And so, 33rella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Troubleville, who is very kind, wise, etc., says, good evening, everyone. My son, Prince Traitor Tupling, was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Traitor Tupling responds, yes, father. Suddenly, 33rella arrived at the ball just in time. He's walking towards me, say Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Hallie, Ruby, Aaron, and Emily all together. But Prince Traitor Tupling is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 33rella. Prince Traitor Tupling then says, may I have this dance? In which 33rella responds, I would be delighted. And so 33rella and Prince Traitor Tupling dance happily together. But later, 33rella checks her clock, and it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Traitor Tupling was really worried that he might never see 33rella again. The king of Troubleville comforts him by saying, there now, son. I think we'll be able to find 33rella, my dear daughter-in-law. And so, the king of Troubleville and Prince Traitor Tupling began their journey all around Troubleville to find 33rella and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where 33rella and her 11 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 33rella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, Tasha and Emily. Prince Traitor Tupling then said, ladies, my father, the king of Troubleville, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Tasha is first, but her foot is too big. Hilda is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits! She said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of Troubleville and Prince Treasure Toppling noticed 33 singing. Your Majesty and Prince Treasure Toppling, is that you guys? She hollered excited. The glass slipper fits! And 33 and the king of Troubleville and Prince Treasure Toppling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. And I've been debating on making the sequels. So if you want to see maybe someday 33 2, 33 Wishes Come True, something like that. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Internet Everything. Buy our merchandise at interneteverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Internet Everything proudly presents 45 It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a plot twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named 45 45 had 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Farah, Ophelia, Ramona, Tanya, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. All of them constantly made fun of 45 and made her do all the chores. 45 wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said them all together. One day, the king of 40 Queen Quadriga Tummingham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Queen Quadriga Tummlingham, his royal, kind, wise, bold majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Queen Quadriga Toppling. Can I come? Asked 45 She's not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. They ran with huge excitement and picked out dresses to wear to the ball, but argue over who will marry Prince Queen Quadriga Toppling. He's going to marry me, said Farah, the oldest stepsister, but her younger sisters disagree. They even tear 45 best party dress. Later, 45 is so sad, distraught, and upset by not going to the ball and marrying Prince Queen Quadriga Toppling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts 45 There now, my dear 45 she said. I'll fix everything for you. Nobody will know it's you. She then waves her magic wand. Because of that, 45 chores are all done. But her fairy godmother's not done yet. She said, 45 go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, 45 has 45 pumpkins and 90 mice. 45 fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 45 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 90 mice into horses, and fixes 45 now torn dress and makes it bigger and better. 45 said, I've never seen such a Queen Quadriga Toppletastic gown! And get it out of my glass slippers! Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? And climbed to the coach. 45 fairy godmother said, Well, 45 my dear, you can't but have fun, but I will warn you. return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. And gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. And so, 45rella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Queen Quadrigen Tumblingham says, "Good evening, everyone." Prince Queen Quadrigen Tumbling was wondering who he should marry. "Isn't that right, son?" To which Prince Queen Quadrigen Tumbling responds, "Yes, father." Suddenly, 45rella arrives at the ball just in time. "He's walking towards me!" say Farah, Ophelia, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella all together. But Prince Queen Quadrigen Tumbling is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 45rella. He then says, "May I please have this dance?" In which 45rella responds, "I will be delighted and happy to." And so 45rella and Prince Queen Quadrigen Tumbling dance happily together. But later, as 45rella checks her clock and it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Queen Quadrigen Tumbling was really worried that he might never see 45rella again. The king of Queen Quadrigen Tumblingham comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find 45rella, my dear daughter-in-law." And so, the king of Queen Quadrigen Tumblingham and the prince of Queen Quadrigen Tumbling began their journey all around the neighborhood, Queen Quadrigen Tumblingham, to find 45rella, and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrive, Prince Queen Quadrigen Tumbling knocks on the door of the house where 45rella and her 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 45rella, they find Fiona to Ella. Prince Queen Quadrigen Tumbling says, "Ella, ladies, my father, the king of Queen Quadrigen Tumblingham, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Farah is first, but her foot is too so big. Olivia is next, but her foot is too small." "Nonsense! It fits!" she said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, they noticed 45rella sweet singing. Your kind, bold, wise majesty. Prince Quadrigen Tumbling, is that you guys?" she heard excitedly. "My dear daughter-in-law, 45rella, we found you," said the king of Queen Quadrigen Tumblingham. "And the glass slipper fits." And then 45rella, the king of Queen Quadrigen Tumblingham, and the Prince Queen Quadrigen Tumbling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Underdoers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Does Everything, and buy our merchandise at EnderDoesEverything.com. And take care. Bye.